In this video, we're going to be learning about how to measure angles. So make sure you start by doing this warm-up. And then first definition we have is an angle. So an angle is something that is formed by two rays with the same endpoint. So the rays are the sides of the angle, and the endpoint is the vertex. So, buddy, could you please be quiet? I'm trying to teach geometry. And the vertex must be in the middle when we're naming it. Okay, buddy, I know you love angles. So this angle, we can call it angle BAC or angle CAB. And then here's the inside of our angle in green, and the exterior is the outside of our angle. So when naming angle 1, we start at one of the points on the sides. So we could say angle J, then we go to the midpoint, the vertex, and then we go to K. Or we can name this, we start at K, we go to M, and then J. For angle KML, we can either reverse the letters and say LMK, let me know, or we can say angle 2. So the next question is tricky. It says, would it be correct to name any of the angles angle M? So angle M is this point right here. If I say angle M, you might think it's angle 1, you might think it's angle 2, you might think it's both of them, but that's not enough information. So we can't say angle M, it's not specific enough. Especially for this case when there's two angles there. So now when we're reading a protractor, there are two ways to do this. If I'm trying to figure out angle AOB, I can either read the numbers on the outside. That was a horrible line. So I can say angle AOB and read the numbers on the outside, take the absolute value. So this is 55 minus 180, because this point right here is 55 and this point's 180. Take the absolute value and get absolute value negative 125, which is 125 degrees. Or I can read the inside. So I can read these numbers inside. If I do that, I can say angle AOB is 125 minus 0, which is 125. Just make sure you're aware that this way the numbers are going up and this way the numbers are going backwards. So be careful when you're reading between two numbers if you think you go up 5 or down 5. Either way, you'll get the same answer as long as you either stick to the outside or stick to the inside. Then we have different types of angles. So we have 4 types. We have acute, we have right, we have obtuse, and we have straight. So acute angles are less than 90 degrees. Right angles are equal to 90 degrees. Obtuse angles are more than 90 degrees. And straight angles are equal to 180. And if you ever heard a ruler being called a straight angle, that's why. It's because it's a straight 180 degrees, so you can draw a line. So in this example, we're trying to find the measure of each angle and then classify them. So the way we can sometimes write a measure of an angle is we can write like the measure, a little m, of angle ABC. So the measure of angle LKN, so L, looks like this is at 35, KN is at 180. So this angle, if I read it from the inside, it goes from 0 to 145, so this is 145 degrees, which is obtuse. Angle JKL is this angle right here. So that goes from 90 to 35, so we can say 90 minus 35, which is 55 degrees, which is acute. It's less than 90. Angle JKN is this angle right here, which is 90 degrees, which is right. Angle LKH goes from L to K to H. So the easiest way to probably see this is going on the outside from 0 to 35. So that'll give us 35 degrees, which is acute. HKN goes from H to K to N, which is just from 0 to 180. So that's 180 degrees, which we call straight. And then MKH goes from M to K to H. If we go on the outside, this goes from 0 to 145. Now, congruent angles are kind of like congruent segments, but now they're angles with the same measure. So we're going to use that same congruent symbol, but we have a few ways to draw them. So these two angles could be congruent, and then these two angles are congruent. So we have a few ways to differentiate between a few different angles being congruent. So this set, I might draw a little line to show they're congruent. This set is different, so I'll draw two lines. Or what I can do is draw a line with a tick mark, with one tick mark, or a line with two tick marks, and etc. Angle addition, this is going to remind you of that very mathematical statement we had before. Little plus little equals big. So, angle AOB plus angle angle BOC equals angle AOB. So this little angle plus this angle gives us that full big angle. So we can use this to solve problems. So in this first example, angle RQT is 155, find angle RQS and TQS. So write an equation so that you know what you're talking about. So angle RQS plus angle TQS adds up to give us angle RQT. Now plug in what you know. Angle RQS is 4x minus 20 plus TQS, 3x plus 14, equals 155. Combine like terms now and solve for x. When you do that, you get x equals 23. So now you're going to plug in and solve. So angle RQS is 4 times 23 minus 20, which is 72 degrees. And angle TQS is 3 times 23 minus 20, which is 83. And you can check this in a few ways. You can check by plugging back in, making sure everything works, or you can check that 72 plus 83 gives you the full big angle of 155, which it does. Next one says angle DEF is straight, find angles DEC and CEF. So remember, this is going to mean it adds up to 180 degrees. So angle DEC plus angle CEF equals angle DEF. So 11x minus 12 plus 2x plus 10 adds up to 180 degrees. which means if we solve for x, x is 14. Plug back in, angle DEC is 11 times 14 minus 12, which is 142. And angle CEF is 2 times 14 plus 10, which is 38 degrees.